to our video and welcome to our channel. I am Micaela Salvania along with my co-host.
I'm Janama Alegre.
I am Zaira Palio,
I'm Kira Saraos.
and this is our virtual friend.
And I'm Lokabad.
And we are Lingkod
Voices.
So,
So today,
What are we gonna do today?
we're gonna be talking about or discussing more thoroughly about the issue of the ayuda, because a bit of a background of our country, the Philippines has offered a lot of programs to help support the poverty as well as those who are in need of social assistance. Therefore, making the Philippines also known as the
Ayuda Nation.
Yes. And among those ayuda programs, here are four of the most known ayuda programs, starting with
4Ps or the
Pantawid
Pamilyang
Filipino
Filipino
program. Next is the
AKAP,
which
which
is
stands for the
Ayuda para sa
Kapus.
Ang Kita program. And we
Next.
also have here the AICS, which stands for
Ayuda
Assistance for Individuals for Crisis Situation.
And lastly is the Tupad program, which is
tulong pangkabuhayan sa ating disadvantaged or displaced workers.
So, with that said, we will start with introducing each programs and what each of these programs do to help the Filipinos. Starting with, of course, again, the 4Ps. So 4Ps, as we know again, is
Pantawid Pamilyang Filipino
Filipino
program.
So this is the most commonly known ayuda program here in the Philippines, and a lot or most of the Filipinos or most Filipino families have registered to this program. So what are the benefits of the program?
well, first of all, the benefit of 4Ps, especially for children, is to help them or aid them with their education, assistance, help them, and also for their health, and for the mothers, they're also part
Like
of,
pregnant women.
Yeah.
Yeah. With children ages 0 to 18.
Oh, like that target
Before-
beneficiaries.
Yeah.
So when was 4Ps mandated?
So, yeah, it's constitutionally mandated. I think it was 2019.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Republic Act
Yeah, Republic Act, supported by Republic Act number 11310.
10. So from what I heard and observed, that this 4Ps program is for it is focused on the poorest of the poor. Typically includes pregnant women and children.
and covers them for about 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, for 7
Yeah,
years.
7 years.
Covers them for 7 years.
It's really
After 7 years, does that mean that they're no longer part of the 4Ps or they're no longer 4Ps?
Yeah.
But
Although, yeah, unless,
the children,
the children.
until they reach 18 years old.
Oh, okay.
I think 7 years is a really long time, and
Yeah, it really helps them. It really supports them with their education, their health.
So, do you guys think that this is necessary for the Philippines, or is it really unnecessary?
I believe that it is necessary, but it can also be
Too much.
too much. That's my stand.
In what way?
This programs is important and helpful, but it can also make people rely on these cash grants. It can make them not work since they depend on these programs that is insisted by the government.
Yeah, but to be more clear, does the program give like cash assistance every month.
Actually, yeah. But other than that, this program is actually conditional because it needs monitoring because these people or the government actually gives cash every month for
Like what amount?
I think it depends.
Depends on the family.
Yeah, it depends because they would check that, for example, if they have a kid or a child that is, 3 to 15 or anything, like they have to be enrolled in an elementary or high school so that and have a 85% attendance at school so that the 4Ps could continue to provide because the sole purpose of this is for the education, like it is a long-term help for the Filipinos.
Yeah, to be part also of the 4Ps, they have to be qualified. There's this
Requirement.
this tahanan. Yeah, the way they will check the citizens' house,
Identity. So
the physical house, like if you're qualified or your access to like water and electricity, if you're really part of or if you're really in need.
So they really do like the individual in charge of like like the government that are in charge of the 4Ps program. They visit those families.
Yeah. It's part of their to check if the citizen is really
Telling the truth.
qualified. Yeah.
Or not. So if they are not, so they aren't granted as members of the 4Ps program. But if they are,
And
then
if they are
qualified,
then
yes.
they granted with 4Ps.
But guys, my issue with 4Ps, I believe that it really helps, but some people, I know some upper government tends to prioritize people who are really not that poor not that rich, since the 4Ps includes the poorest of the poor. So maybe some disadvantage.
I think
That's
it's
a disadvantage.
I guess in a way. And I think the problem here is sometimes does not lie on the program. I think the program in itself is actually a very helpful ayuda program for the poverty. For those who are on the poverty line, the poverty spectrum. But the problem here is there are times that maybe we don't forget, but we sometimes overlook the mentality of the Filipinos because sometimes there are families who take advantage of these opportunities and instead of using them for the education of their children, they use the money for their own could be selfish purpose.
So what about the constant monitoring of the government for this specific program?
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
they have established a what do you call this? Like they'll check
Continuously check on you.
Yes.
The
the
state.
children,
Yeah, the
if
children.
they're really going to school,
More like updates.
yeah, to check if they're really using the money.
I think that's great.
So, yeah, for me, I think it is really necessary for the Filipino people to have this program because not everyone is, born rich or anything like that. So,
Especially here in the Philippines.
yeah,
Not
so
everyone is privileged.
I think we have this, equal opportunities. We should have these equal opportunities because really, someone has told me or I've read it somewhere that there are many talents or many potentials trapped in poverty. So this 4Ps is really a way to help the Filipino people improve their lifestyle, their nutrition, and also their education. So it would, lead to a better society or a better nation.
I agree with you right there. Now that we're done with expressing our personal thoughts on the 4-piece program, let's hear from our
Virtual friend.
Look,
Are you still there? Look.
So look, what
Okay,
is
let's
your
finish.
comment on the thoughts that we have expressed?
Hi guys, I'm still here. So firstly, yeah, to summarize things of what you have said, the four-piece program is a conditional program. That means that there are series of steps that Filipinos must do to become a beneficiary, like having their 5 to 18 years old children to be enrolled, having them 85% attend, like they must get 85% attendance rate, and there are many more like newborn their children and stuff. And the program is basically telling us that in exchange of being a beneficiary, a desired behavior is expected. And as they said, it is constitutionally mandated in 2019, which indicates in the Republic Act of 11310, making it a lawful program. And the Pantawid Pamilya project target reaches their target by using a national household targeting system for poverty reduction, in short, NHTSPR. And like Geneva said, they predict their um, asset ownership, housing type, educational background, and their access to essential basic needs like water, electricity, and sanitary facilities. And I think four P's is helpful for the reason being that this program targets human capital improvement, which is in line with what the SWD is supposed to do since it is a social welfare and development program. And this requires beneficiary to invest in their children's health, education, and nutrition, which focuses on a long-term sustainability for our future generations. And by having a conditional cash transfers encourage this positive behavior of like school attendance and stuff. So they get more reinforcement of this. And this actually addresses the root cause of what I think is, poverty. And I agree on, like I said, that there are families who take advantage of beneficiary privilege of Warpies. And the good thing is that, like Geneva said, the government is doing something about that and now is really re-evaluating is qualified to the program or not, which is a good thing for us taxpayers. Yeah, that's all I can say for that.
The great deduction that he has gathered from all of our um, what we have talked so
point,
far.
good point.
Yes, yes. So thank you. Look, next, I think it's time we proceed to the second Ayuda program, which is the
AKAP, which
Yes.
stands for the Ayuda.
Sa mga
Para
kapos,
sa kapos.
ang kita program.
Yay!
So, AKAP primarily serves low-income to middle-income families. It is notably implemented during the inflation and COVID-19 to increase the incomes of those who are kapos.
So an interesting fact about the ACA program is that it was not like
Constitutionally mandated.
yes,
Yeah.
unlike 4-piece. And other informations regarding ACAP include
Yeah, like Kira mentioned, ACAP is the beneficiaries of ACAP are those families families income are lower or in minimum wages, and which they are mostly affected by the rising inflation, and yeah, cause them to be affected by it. And
So, like they do not have enough to sustain. No, it's not
Yeah.
term. Like there's another term for that. Get by for the day. So yeah, I think you guys have mostly said it all. So do you think? What about this? Is this like 4 piece also necessary or not?
Like 4 piece is a cup necessary?
Yeah.
And like a 4 piece is a cup necessary.
What? Repeating words. Like just like 4 piece, like we evaluated whether it is
Yes.
necessary or
Yeah.
whether it is not. So, what is this necessary or not? Because for me, I think it
Yeah.
is personally.
me-
I do. I think it is.
for me also, I think ACAP is also necessary, especially that inflation is getting higher or rising as the time goes by, and
Yes.
it really affects Filipinos who's the who's has only a minimum wages, where they are not given enough money to buy especially rice
Yeah.
and their viands.
Yeah. Although it is a temporary solution, it is actually, I think we Filipinos, we are known for that, right? To help each other. we have, we are known to help each other. So like, whether it is temporary, I think it is also necessary to like give or lend a helping hand to the people who need it the most, because these people do not really control inflation or anything like that. So what do you guys think?
I think I agree with what you guys say, that it is actually very important for the Filipinos because, of course, even though it is temporary, it has helped. We have witnessed, or there are many instances that it has helped. But at the same time, when you look at it on another page, I kind of think that there is
That's no negative effects.
no, not that. What I mean to say is that I think it's at some point it can be unnecessary because instead of like giving out this temporary solution for the inflation, when inflation is on the rise and it's a continuous problem that we will continue to face on in the future, because of course we are living in a fast-paced world right now, unlike before where our currency or where our money was not that heavily does not heavily affect us. Today money is very much like our life source right now. We need money in order to do things for us and for our people, for the ones we love, and of course for our friends and families. So maybe I kind of thought, how about instead of like providing a program to temporarily battle inflation, why couldn't the government find a way to actually mitigate through this problem, not by providing a temporary solution, but by somehow assisting Filipinos in order for them to cope through the problem themselves, to be able to actually battle it themselves, not by depending on another source or another program to battle it for them, kind of like that. So that's just my thought about it.
So what do you suggest? Like, in what way can the government like provide assistance for them
So-
other than giving them, because these
Cash
people,
assistance.
yeah, these people have they actually work, right?
Yes.
Because they just have low wages or
It's not enough to
Yeah, it's not
supply
enough.
their everyday lives.
so what do you like? What can you suggest?
Inflation is really
Yeah, because
very
we
difficult
really
topic.
we cannot. I think that is beyond our control as an individual or as a citizen in this nation. So
Yes.
like if that is beyond you, what can you do, right?
if you're saying that for instead of financial or cash assistance, you said that you mentioned that like other programs instead of
So like
cash.
in what way can the government or can we assist these people?
Maybe like make or construct a program where instead of that as a main, not main topic, but like a main objective for the program, how about having another program to assist Filipinos in actually like having those people work, right? So why not like encourage them to have another side job that they can they can carry
Support
out
themselves.
they can carry out while also not
Rely on
not
Depend.
depending on fully depend on the money, as well as just not kana maghawas sila sa trabaho. like
Without
a
quitting their
program,
job.
yeah, without them looking at their jobs as something that is an obstacle for them to do other things. They can do like other things to help them financially, but also stay in their job, and maybe somehow in the future they could flourish in the job that they have made, and in a way they can be able to support themselves.
So like sidelines,
Yes.
another jobs.
As we know that the Philippines really lacks job opportunities. So I think it is really hard for them to do that.
No, I don't think that they should like find another job through like another boss or through other corporations like that, but they themselves should learn how to do business in the long run. I'm not saying that they should like start business and expect the business to flourish just in a span of 1 year. No, like they should invest as well in those instances,
But
so that they'll be able to find a way to support themselves in the long run.
But investment is also a risk, if you invest, especially that
It is.
it's a big money that you receive from the ACAP, then what if that it went to bankrupt and more on the big problem for them to do that?
Yeah, especially
The crisis.
when we put inflation back to the picture,
Okay.
right? So we mean like you can barely go by the day with like
The money
having
ACAP gave.
like having to eat, especially to provide for your family, because we have minimum wage or like very low wage that really is not enough for the day or for the week. So how can you like invest to something that is risky, especially that we are in the state of inflammation or like anything like that.
Inflation.
Or inflation. I'm sorry. sorry, inflation. Okay.
So I guess in that case, don't invest in things that are very risky. Be calculative in a way.
Then not all people are have that skills.
That is why but maybe in a certain way we could provide a program that will enable these the Filipinos who are struggling, to be able to like receive information that could help them obtain these skills. Kind of like a setup for them. They'll be the ones to initiate. Okay, the program is just there to like make them open up their minds, and maybe they could also themselves can find it very helpful for their paglago.
So you agree? You find this program necessary?
Yeah.
I'm in between. I think it is, but at the same time I don't, because in the long run, yeah.
Alright. What about you?
Personally, I thought about a solution. Do you know the workers of Clarix Oil, summer jobbers?
Yeah, I'm kind of familiar, but not
A
really.
little bit.
So in the I've experienced that where we worked in our barangays, then we receive cash. I think it can be a solution where government provide works so that they will not only receive money but also learn new skills.
So it's
Yeah.
like
Two jobs at the same time.
No, like just like a sideline. So since you've mentioned, I know I've mentioned about dependency for peace. It can also be applied to this APAP.
so it's like tupad.
Can be.
Yeah, tulong pangkabuhayan sa ating disadvantage or displaced.
No, it's just a solution. The government gained workers and the people who work for them gained money. So it's like you're working on that money, not just receiving that money. So you worked hard for that.
But
I get it.
it doesn't apply to all
I think it's
workers. Like you all mentioned that ACAP is for those families who earns a minimum wage. So it's just an additional work which makes them their lives more, harder,
Sir,
miserable. while gaining for more money, it makes them more into a difficult situation.
yeah.
Just a cash, and then it's up to them how they will spend it on, divide it more on rice.
I mean, it's just my solution personally, since since I think that these programs can make those people rely on this money. So I just thought that it might be better if the government might provide some sidelines
So
where they can gain money and the government will gain workers.
so the government don't just don't give it away for free.
Yes, they need to work hard for it.
So
need to earn it.
this is where nothing comes for free.
Well, the people who work will also gain skills since they worked and
But they're already working.
So how do you think does that battle inflation?
I mean, like
I think we have like deviated from the topic.
no, I think we're not really battling in inflation.
Yeah.
But
We can-
we're trying to help people who is affected by inflation.
Because in reality, we can't really
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because
battle
this is larger scope, inflation
larger
itself.
scale
can change
problems.
about
It's
it.
economic.
It's been the problem, the rising prices of rice.
So, with the ideas, with all the ideas laid at the table, let's hear from our virtual friend.
Yeah, it's time to hear from Luke.
Look again.
So what can you say about this, Luke? About this program that battles inflation.
yes, because we had a really intense
Conversation.
yes.
Debate.
I so yeah, I actually think yeah, so I actually think that the program is completely useless for two reasons. The first is um the objective of this program is provide financial assistance to minimum wage earners to apparently mitigate the effects of inflation. However, it is really a vague project since the one who is affected by inflation is not just the minimum wage workers, but the whole nation itself, which is the Philippines. Now, so why the government decided that they only want to give money to minimum wage workers? Why not poor or people who are in poverty? Since they are the one who are the most affected by the inflation. And that's the first thing. And the second thing is that they actually didn't discuss this program in the 2024 budget hearing, and Senator Pimentel highlighted that this project isn't even proposed in bicameral conference committee of 2024, and that actually raises suspicions on what this program is all about. And they also said that the senators were actually not informed by this, and that's actually doesn't that didn't make sense because they are the ones who implement government initiatives and laws. So why are they not informed? So that actually raises suspicion on this project. And I agree on Michaela on this one. On instead of making this project, why don't they invest on developing other projects like employment project or seminars to increase employment rate and skills of our Filipinos? And yeah, I think that's all. Uh, I can.
Let's now move on to AX, which stands for
Assistance to individuals in crisis situation.
Yay! And this AX has the beneficiaries of the families who are affected by the crisis, whether it would be a medical emergencies or a natural disasters. And although it just a temporary assistance for them, it is still necessary because it aids them with temporary relief. It helps them to after that a very crisis.
Like financially.
So what do you think?
So before we proceed, so let's go back to the other two programs that we have discussed. What are the differences between these three programs? So first is the 4Ps is mainly
Since 4P stands for Pantawid Pamilyang Filipino program, it serves as it gives people financially to
Financial assistance.
financial assistance.
and is mainly their main goal is to mainly support the children in their education as well as their health. And next is for the ACAP, which their main objective is for those who are struggling with inflation, even though they have work, or they are being paid a certain salary, they are still having a hard time with
Sustaining themselves.
yes. And for Ikes, it is about
It is about an immediate assistance for the families who are affected by the crisis, whether it would be medical emergencies or natural disasters.
Yeah, from families from various economic background.
Yes.
And it is not just limited to the poorest of course, but to all that is affected by the crisis.
exactly.
Although it is temporary compared to the 4Ps and other ayudas who are long term, this AX is also necessary to help those citizens to fight for a short term poverty and immediate assistance.
And although this AX is not explicitly mandated, it aligns with the government's social responsibility to provide services, especially during emergencies.
Yeah, so for me to think it is really evident that AX is really necessary for helping people who are in need. Like it's basic human decency. So what about you guys?
Don't you think it's
While I think that helping each other out is of course very important, okay, let us not forsake our fellow Filipinos, our fellow people. But in a way, don't you think Ike's is? I think there was already another program for helping Filipinos mitigate through crisis.
what's that?
through crisis involving natural disasters. And I don't know what it is, but I think there was. But the problem is I don't remember. Let me search it up. But ACT is that basically a program that helps, right? So it's a. Let me search it up. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. Take your time.
How about you, Kara?
I mean, yes, it is really helpful, and I think it's necessary, but at the same time, there are some instances where it becomes, since as said, this program helps temporarily. Well, how about focusing on the long-term solution instead of on just focusing on this temporarily?
Long-term solutions like what?
Forever assistance after crisis.
Because this crises are inevitable and you really don't know when it will happen. So
And that's why it's really necessary.
yeah,
Because
it
it gives those family who are badly in need immediate assistance and their needs.
Well, I'm not saying that it's not helpful. I mean, I agree that it is necessary, but I think it's up the only way for this to fix or to improve the what is called the long-term solution is that maybe the government should implement something. I don't know what that something is, but as said, focus on the long-term solutions rather than just addressing it temporarily. Well, it's helpful, but
So basically, you want you want another solution for that,
yes,
and
long term.
you don't think that AX is actually a help for these people?
No. As mentioned, I said that it is necessary.
Yeah, of course it is necessary.
Yes.
So, if it is necessary, why do you think we should,
Since I
find
said
another?
again, I will repeat. Since, as mentioned, this program is just temporary and not really focusing on the long-term solutions. That is just my problem.
But I think it is temporary. It's giving enough time for these people to go go back up from being, down. What? Stand back up from the ground. It's not really the term, but you get my point, right? So, yeah. Why?
Wait, so let me just rephrase that to make a quick understanding here real quick. So you said you wanted to, not you wanted, but you suggested to make another program.
No. Not program. A solution. It can be a program or
Maybe
or
a
whatnot.
program.
Yes.
But to take action.
Yes, I'm not saying that it is unnecessary. For me, it's really helpful, but
So basically, we cannot do something about it for now because I asked for an alternative other than AX, in which there is still none to come up with, right? So yeah, it is necessary as you agreed with. So I think AX it is a good solution for this crisis or anything. Yeah, for the situation, it is a good solution. But I'm sure there is also better solutions out there. But yeah, what are we arguing about even?
Yeah, but the sole purpose of AX is just really on the short-term assistance, not the long-term assistance, because like you said, it will lead them into dependency on that program.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that
So there,
just an immediate assistance.
yeah, immediate assistance for the
Immediate
first aid
crisis.
kit. first aid kit. First aid kit? No, first aid. It's first aid. First aid. First aid.
First aid kit. Yeah.
Okay, so on that note, like first aid assistance, or like temporary assistance, we have ICE, right? I'm also wondering, like, diba, like, you asked whether I think it's necessary or unnecessary. In a way, I think it is kind of unnecessary because there is already NDRRMC, right?
What's that?
What's that? A national
Disaster risk.
disaster risk reduction management program. So
Yes.
NDRRMC. Yes,
Yeah.
that. There's already that program and it has existed for many years now. And that program also provides ayuda or assistance to those who are affected by natural disasters. And we have, of course, witnessed we have witnessed how they assisted the people who were struggling during those hardships, especially when we watch our news. And in those times of crisis, we have seen, and maybe some of us have experienced. Have you guys experienced being given an ayuda by?
No.
No.
Unfortunately.
Yes. No.
So there was a part of our community that was given assistance by their program, and we're thankful for that. And that is why somehow I find it a bit unnecessary because
Since there's
already NDRRMC. Yes, an existing program. Why not just instead of making another program that will use another set, not another set, but like will use,
Why not improve those
yes, why not improve? The-
existing, which is the NDRRMC,
Yeah,
rather than making another program,
yeah, making another program that just
additional
Like-
funds.
So you think we should limit ourselves to just one?
it's not about limiting, but more like expanding that one program itself.
And by eliminating ICE?
In a way, yeah. I do. I have to stand my ground. I said unnecessary. So what is your take on what I just said?
Can you elaborate more that DRR?
I don't really get it because ICE provides, right? It provides.
And then DRMC also provides.
Yeah, so the more the merrier.
But that's the problem. We think the more the merrier. But isn't that just a mentality that's very, like, we don't have a lot. The Philippines does not have a lot. Of course, it's not bad to give. But how can you give a lot when you yourself does not have a lot?
I mean, what about the sources?
Exactly.
Like the sources.
The
What
taxes.
if they have different sources? Like, so
And
are
also
you
the qualification.
like are you saying that,
That
for example, we have various of hotels in Cagayan or City?
But
So-
no, some of these hotels are private owned. It's not governmentally owned.
Yeah, I meant like just an example. Like for example,
The hospital.
Lux Hotel. We have Mulberry, and so can't they coexist or anything because they are different? So should the Lux Hotel expand itself? I mean, like we have, like, you could do that, and I do this, and they are run by different. I think it's not limited to a one sector only, because I think NDRRMC and AIX are run by different people or organization, something like that.
But don't they have like the same
Yeah.
similar objectives? They have similar objectives,
And that is to
help
Yeah, that is to
those
help.
people who are affected by disasters, natural disasters.
Yeah, and it is necessary to help people.
So you said that in the case of Mulberry Hotel and Lux Hotel, like why shouldn't they just coexist instead of like
Yeah, they serve the same purpose.
they serve the same purpose. Yes, but
For example, biases. Like it can prevent biases. Like for example, if the RMC more well have connections to this place, what will what
The
do they
other?
yeah.
does not have any connections. Does not have any connections. What do you mean does
But
not?
what if the people already got the funds from NDRMC and will get another to AX? Like
Okay,
bias?
let me ask you this: is that a bad thing? Like, is that a bad thing or what?
It can be.
Yes, because if you will be given two funds, what will happen to the
Too much
others?
funds.
Yes, they will not be getting any money.
So don't they have any list of who already got
No, it
their-
can be manipulated.
Well,
Funds can be
corruption?
yes, it can happen.
Oh dear, what was
that? Happy New
so
Year!
loud? Okay, anyway, back to the topic. Where were we?
yeah. Where were we again here?
Then the list can be manipulated. Well, it can be someone might be prioritized when in fact they are not really affected. That's what I mean. You get my point.
A bit confused.
Yeah, I'm also a bit confused. Like,
No, okay.
Can you clarify?
So, example, you have example one family. Well, they already received money from NDRRMC. Then what if they will also receive money from what we call AX? So, so if that happens, then the money they will receive will be doubled, and the funds will lack, in which the other families might not be able to get some assistance.
Well, doesn't it mean that they receive from the both programs? It means that they are really qualified and are really badly in need during crisis. Like they really don't any resources. It can be really helpful to them. To resources.
so her point, I think, is what about the other families, right, that did not receive anything from the NDRMC, so they did not receive from AX also because it doubled?
Yes. And whose responsibility is that? Government.
Government it is.
Okay, let's hear from.
Okay, this is quite complicated. Oh my gosh.
Happy New Year again.
Yes. You know what? I'm still stuck on what Zaira told me. What Zaira said a while ago about like comparing Mulberry to the Lingkod Hotel. I'm still stuck with that idea. Not ideology. What do you call that again?
I'm just pointing out that can't AX and NDRMC
Coexist.
coexist?
They can actually.
So they will become one?
No, it's not about them becoming one. It's about them working together. But why
Yeah,
aren't
they work
they? Do they really work together?
I mean, like, they have people. They have people. So, this is, for example, Junema help. Junema helps the community, and Kira also helps the community. Okay, so for example, they help in the same community. Should we just eliminate Kira because Junema is already helping, and let's like, expand Junema's potential of doing so? Anyway,
You can understand her.
But you can do that while expanding the NBRMC while removing AX, then having the NBRMC having different branches.
Oh yeah, I think that is a much better solution.
Since you're improving NBRMC,
let's not lose the point here. in which is what is the point?
Which is it
Ah,
unnecessary or is
is
it
AX
necessary?
Is
Really
AX
necessary?
necessary or not? Is it justifiable?
Well, for me, it's
First of all,
necessary.
it's necessary for Junema.
It is necessary.
For
Yeah,
Zaira,
that's
it's
to help
necessary.
people, like-
For you,
I'm stuck.
you know,
Having
stuck between.
like just seeing or focusing on what AX objective really is into this to help an immediate,
Solution.
immediate
assistance.
assistance.
Give
for this.
immediate.
Yeah, it is necessary.
For you,
Everyone think
No, how dare you?
in a
like-
way it can be unnecessary because I don't know, you could have used the money for other important things. Of course, giving ayuda to the people is in fact important, and especially if they are under crisis, those times of crisis. Of course, it's very important. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that there's all it's fine if the two of them coexist. But I'm wondering if MDRMC gives ayuda to this place and Ike's also gives ayuda to this place as well. It's kind of like they are neglecting the other places that also need attention.
But that's their job.
It's their job, but like they're focusing on one place only, and they're neglecting the other places that also need their ayuda. It's good if these two programs coexist while helping people at a greater scope and not just focus on one place where they're giving out ayudas left and right just to this specific place. So that's what I'm saying, I guess.
yes. What a great point, everyone.
Okay, what about
Should we hear from
yeah,
our
we
virtual
should.
body?
We definitely should.
So that our minds could be cleared.
Yeah.
So let's hear from you.
Look,
It
our
was
virtual
a-
body.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, thank you guys. So my opinion on this one is I so first AX is assistance of two individual in crisis situations which has the objectives to offer immediate reliefs or financial aid to those who are in crisis. One big example of that is crisis in natural disasters, medical emergencies, or natural um, disasters. And the target beneficiary of this is individuals and families who are affected by this. And it is not constitutionally mandated, but however, it is aligned with the state's duty to provide social services. And my opinion on this is that I agree on Michaela that I think this one is not needed, but instead they should use this to fund NDRRMC or or uh, NDRRMF, which it stands for National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Fund. For example, this program is designed to address emergencies and providing immediate reliefs to vulnerable individuals, which is overlap with the objectives of AX, which is just sharing aids to the affected individuals. And while considering AX and the RRMF on this, by integrating this program, they can actually improve the efficiency in which the system is being more, in fact, impactful on what can it do to address the crisis, ultimately benefiting us, the Filipinos, and our communities more by optimizing our public funds instead of just using the fund on just separate things which has similar objective. Why not integrate it into one? So yeah, that's my take on that.
And up next, after the AX, we have now the TUPAD, which stands for
tulong panghanap buhay sa ating disadvantaged or displaced workers.
And Tupad Everyone is initiatives by the DOLE and established under the Republic Act number 1126-1, which also known as First Time Job Seekers Assistance Act, which mandate the provision of government assistance to job seekers, including emergency employment.
And also, TUPAD supports underemployed, self-employed, and displaced workers, particularly those who are in the informal sector. To be specific, TUPAD makes people work in community-based projects such as repairing infrastructures, cleaning the barangays, clean-up drives, and yes, cleaning. And also it has a duration, maybe about 10 to 30 days, if I'm right.
Yeah, they do.
Did you experience that?
Yes, some of my, I mean my uncle experienced
I
it.
thought you were the one who experienced it. Okay. So unlike the previous programs, Tupad is more on the self-employed or unemployed. Because the other programs, previous programs that we have debated on, are more on first 4Ps is for the
Education.
children, for the education and for the health of the children. Next is AKAP, which is for the kapos.
Yes.
Not
Or-
enough.
Those people who do not have enough money,
Low wages.
low wages,
The AICs,
and the AIGs.
which is in the emergency situations,
Yeah.
like crisis situations.
Yeah.
Youth assistance.
Yes. And also lastly, this TUPAD,
Yeah,
which
Tupad.
focuses on the self-employed and underemployed.
Yes. And of course those who are marginalized. So for Tupad, what justifies this program, and do you think it's unnecessary or is it necessary?
What about you guys?
It's necessary.
I also think it's necessary.
It's necessary.
Yes.
Okay. Let's give out our reasons one by one.
Because you mentioned that it gives an emergency employment for those
Underemployed or
unemployed or
unemployed.
self-employed, which is, although a short-term relief for them, it is really also a very big help, although it's just a short.
To those who are underemployed,
Yeah, because it-
marginalized sector,
Because it gives them a job, a temporary job.
which they can receive money.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
Okay.
it's okay. You can start.
And however, although I think that it is necessary, I also think that there is there's a hole in this. Because if the beneficiaries what is that called again, took advantage of it, it would make them not seek stable jobs. Because because if that happens, if that's the case, if what's this again, what is this?
Tupad.
Tupad. If the Spanish sorry guys, I'm trying to
Just trying to find the
It's okay.
word.
yeah. So if Tupad is, done with everything that is or anything, it would leave these people like without jobs again, because temporary jobs, right? Temporary employment opportunities. So like it also deprives them of finding an actual stable job. But at some point, it is really necessary if they really, take advantage of it in a good way.
I agree. And I think what makes the Tupad program necessary is that it actually, I think, and from from what Kira said, I believe it gives people a certain amount of skills. It could be skills in cleaning, skills in communicating, depending on the field that they were tasked to do during that duration of their employment. But of course, then again, it's only temporary. So I suggest maybe instead of making it a temporary job, maybe maybe have another program that's not on making things temporary but on encouraging people as well as like giving them opportunity to explore other jobs that they can do for the duration that they are given. So it does not mean that I do not think Tupad has helped people in a way, because it has. So I won't say that Tupad has not helped people, because of course it certainly has helped people. Because this also applies to those who are very impoverished. Am I saying it right? Impoverished?
I don't know the meaning of that.
Those people who are under the poverty line.
My only problem with this tupad is the priority. Yes, prioritization. Because I've observed in our barangay, this program already occurred in our barangay. And then the people who have, a decent job
Decent jobs.
has it was included in this program, while the other person who really can apply really needs it really needs it the most was not included.
Given the opportunity.
Yes, it's not included. That's my only problem. But other than that, I really find tupad helpful and
Yeah. It gives people financial relief in a way,
Yeah.
especially during those time of unemployment or self-employment.
And-
while they are still finding it as a job.
Yeah.
And also for clarification, this program has a duration and not all day they can not it's not all day that they will have to work. It's just at maybe two or 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well, and then in that case they can find another job or they can work on their job while also
So
working on this program.
So in a way, it can be inconsistent.
What inconsistent? What do you mean by that?
I mean, inconsistent in a way that consistent. Hey, let me rephrase that. By inconsistent, I mean I think maybe it depends on like the amount of people who are under the program and are doing their jobs under the program, because this can also be, it's a solution, yes, a temporary solution, but in a way we also have to consider the amount of people that would want to join this program. Like, what if this certain amount of people want to work and the government has to find a place for them, or like put a specific time for them to work for a set duration. It could be twice a day, 3 times a day, or every day, depending on what the government or the officials who are in charge of the program have concluded. And in that case, if a lot of people are too dependent, this is in the case of overdependency, okay? So in the case of people being overdependent on Tupad, it can cause some conflicts in the schedules and problems, because what if they really do need immediate financial solution, not financial solution, but they need immediate finances for them or for their family. And because of this problem in securing a set date or set schedule for the work, it's gonna take a long time for them to receive their salary. In that case, it will be a bit difficult for them. They'll have to say anto sa English. They'll have to anto sa English. They'll have to wait. They'll have to be patient for a very long time, because then again, it does not happen for at the flick at it does not happen instantly. There, like Kira said, you have to be working for at least 10 to 30 days. It depends on the job. So, yeah, and that if in that case, wouldn't it be a bit of like, wouldn't it give the people a bit of a hard time? This is for the case of those who really are in immediate need for finance.
But I believe
Money.
yes, sorry. But I believe there are other programs that offer cash assistance for those who are in need. And also, this program is really helpful because what work they will do is just easy.
Basic jobs.
Yes, basic jobs where they will work in their community, just like cleaning, yes, trimming those trees. It's really easy. Then they will receive their cash with that easy job.
So I guess in a way it does not only help them gain money from their work, but it will also help the community.
Yeah. Aside from the money, it's also the skills that can also earn skills. Maybe perhaps apply their future job.
So overall, I think Tupad is a very helpful program that have encouraged many of Filipinos to work in those times that they do not have a permanent job, or they are self-employed or marginalized. So it's very helpful for them. But I think what's something I think it's a bit lacking in the part that it's only temporary. It's a bit sad that it's only temporary, but at the same time, okay, yeah, it's
So
good
for
making building skills.
yes, at some point it is justifiable. And let's hear from
Our virtual body.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
Let us hear your opinion.
What are your thoughts, Look?
Stop na ta? Stop na ta? Okay, stop na.
Thank you.
Fishbowl.
We just changed places because a lot of people were already crowding at the place near the place that we were at, so we decided to go over here, which is less quiet, I think. And Janema, today we're going to be doing a fishbowl. And as you can see, we don't have a fishbowl, so we're just gonna utilize Janema's cap. And for the first one, I think we'll have Kira. May you pick one. So in here is an assortment of 4 quotes, and every one of us is going to pick one, and we're gonna reflect on the quote that we chose or that we have picked. So first is Kira's.
So I got one.
Can you read it, Kira, please?
I got the quote. I didn't get there by wishing for it or hoping for it, but by working for it.
Ooh, so what is your reflection on that?
From the quote, I I believe that this means that success doesn't come from waiting for things to happen, but by working hard for it. Just like our program, Tupad, which we mentioned earlier, that the Tupad program we, gives people money, but first you have to work for it, just for like the community-based projects. So the government gives the workers money, and then the workers will receive money, but also they will learn another skills, and because of their hard work they have opportunities coming their way. So so success comes in from putting your work. And by the quote, I didn't get there by wishing for it or hoping for it, but by working for it. It's saying that learning to fish is important, but you also have to actually fish and keep trying.
Yeah, so like you just don't go there and wait for something to happen to you, but you work so you could get there, or you could get what is needed or necessary.
So it's actually like working on and base I from your sweat.
Yes.
So like it's all hard work, all of the benefits you have to work hard for it until you got them. Not just by directly um, fishing like you mentioned by the code, but like you'll just receive an assistance or aid from a program, but you actually have to work hard on it. And yeah, like the Tupan, which is, as we mentioned earlier, about the emergency employment for working in your barangays.
Yes, because like when we don't we don't do hard work, what will we gain? No success, right?
Yeah,
Because we didn't do anything that will cause us good.
How about for you, Luke? What can you say about the quote? So for my take on the quote, yes, like everyone said, we all must do our hard work so that we are truly deserving of what we earn. And by this, we shouldn't always depend. It's okay to depend, but not over depend on the ayudas or the blessings that come our way. We have to work hard for it in some way, in a way that we can, and in a way that we are able to do. So by this, we are only receiving, we are also given in a way that we are capable of. And other than that, this quote also reflects a lot on the ayudas or on the discussions that we have so far. Because, again, I did not get here by wishing for it,
I didn't get there by wishing for it or hoping for it.
or hoping for it. So you can't just rely on hoping or wishing alone, because those are just asking without actually
Putting the work.
without actually putting the work, or like being in a situation where you can actually earn something. It's like you're just spouting nonsense without taking action, without making a situation that you can actually earn from. So I think we can all
Agree with it.
agree with the
Yes,
quote
we also
and
agree.
reflect on the quote with the topics that we have discussed.
So next,
And as for Luke, what can you say about the quote? Hello, Luke. Okay. So I think there's a bit of a problem with our connection. So let's move on to the second fishbowl.
which is
Then,
okay.
is it my turn?
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe so.
It's my turn now. So what quote will I do today?
What will it be?
And yes, you're audible. So for the next quote we have, understanding money is part of being independent. You can't be self-sufficient if you're relying on someone else. My take on this quote is that it certainly highlights of dependency. Sorry. No, not just that. It also highlights that we shouldn't just completely rely on others for financial things, for money or for other things. We need to learn money. Not just use money, but learn it to its essence on how it can help us improve our livelihood, how we can use it more meaningfully as well as more mindfully, so that we won't be wasting money spending it on unnecessary stuff, unnecessary supplies that maybe we do need at the moment, but somehow in the long term it's quite unnecessary. So for this, we really have to know just what money is for us, and by here we should reflect on like how we use it, kind of like how in the programs how they use these monies to support other people. So we're using the money for a cause. But then again, if we are using the money for a cause, what about those people who we're giving the money to? Do they know the money? Do they know the value of the money that they hold? So I think that is why this quote can very deeply and emotionally stimulate us, because in a way it tells us that money isn't just something that we should spend without much thought. It's something that we should know how to handle and know how to hold. So what are your takeaways with this about this, guys?
So while you're being provided with the money by some programs, you also have to what do you call this? Discard them? Something like that?
Effort.
Yeah. You have to make your own ways for, although it is for a short term, that money, it is you have to make your own ways to be able to use that money for a long term. Yeah, so it's basically handling your money, managing it.
Yeah, managing it.
Yeah, managing it right. Don't just spend on some nonsense. I'm sorry, what's the term again? Unimportant things that you know that you don't need.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to think critically how you're going to spend your money.
We can also apply it to the program AKAP, which stands for, what's that called? Ayuda sa mga kapos, ang kita program. Well, while it helped them, we cannot deny the fact that it may also cause dependence, since maybe they will think that, oh, my money is not enough. Then I will just have to wait for that program AKAP for me to be able to receive sufficient funds or money. So,
Yes, so understanding money is really important, because it is with what you do with the money that is given to you by those programs, right? Because you could just, we have this thing called needs and we have wants. So we should, know our priorities and know the purpose why this money or this ayuda was given to us in the first place. So another change of location because it started to pour.
Yeah, the rain started to pour. We didn't actually expect this video to be longer.
Yeah.
This video took a lot of time, and we did not anticipate that. But here we are, and we're gonna proceed. We're gonna continue on with our fishbowl.
Yeah.
So let's have our third coat.
So Zyra will be the one to pick, and
Oh no.
Zyra's
this?
coat will
What's
be.
that?
Oh.
Can you show it?
So, you spin your own thread, you make your own clothes. You spin your own thread again. You spin your own thread, you make your own clothes. So my take on this is that, you know, just like the previous, the first code, that what was it again? But my translation for it is, my understanding was, nothing comes first for free. So like, you have to work for it. You don't just hope for it, and you don't just wish for it, but you work for it. So like, you make your own thread. You, like, for example, with the ayudas given to you, and you make your own clothes.
So it's like
You're
it's
doing
up
the
to
hard
you.
work.
What
Like,
you-
I'm
what-
kind of lost.
What your future is up
You'll
to
be
you.
the
Yeah.
You'll be the one to shape your
Yeah, you would be the one to shape it with the resources that you have and the opportunities that was given to you. So that's all. What
Yeah.
about you guys?
Since for me it's more on dependency and independency. You make your own thread.
Yes.
Yeah, you make your own thread and you make your own.
Yeah, so like
Well,
since we're talking about the ayudas, so it means that you are being provided by some sort of assistance according to your needs. So basically, it will be then after you are being given by some sort of assistance, then it will be up to you all of the work. So it's about the independency, how you're going to what do you call this, flourish,
make your way up to it.
or like you let go it.
Improve.
Yeah, you improve it
Enhance.
and more on and yeah. And
Rely
according with your own hands and hard work. Yeah.
What for you, Kier? What's your
As-
take on the quote?
Can you
Don't too
please
much.
mention the quote again? Please mention the quote again.
Oh,
You make your own thread.
yeah,
Ay,
you
Or you
make,
make your own
you
thread.
make your own thread. You make
spin,
your
you
own
spin.
clothes.
You spin your own.
I spin
You
your
spin.
own.
Oh,
Spin
yeah.
your own thread. You
Spin.
make your own clothes.
So for me, my take on this is that what your future is up to you. So if you will work hard today, then your future may be successful. And but if you don't, then maybe it will become successful too. It's really up to you on the long run.
So, for me, you spin your own thread again. You spin your own thread, you make your own clothes. So it's kind of like the clothes is like the end. Maybe it's not the end game, but it's like what you expect to be, where you expect to be, what you expect to be as a person. And for me, the thread and the action of rolling, was it rolling? Or spinning.
Spinning.
The action of spinning your own thread is like doing your work on your own without the assistance of anyone else will lead you to the goal that you want to be, the goal that you want to reach, or the person you want to become. So in this way, we can relate it to the programs by they are the ones who give us the thread that will be the cash assistance, for example. And by us spinning this is how we utilize the money. So depending on how we utilize the money, we will have an expectation of a desired result. There will be a desired result, and whether or not you actually spend your threads carefully, mindfully, meticulously, you will end up with the right results, the right results that you wanted to reach.
Yes.
What about you, Luke?
Yeah. So for me, you spin your own threads, you make your own clothes. This quote is really give emphasis to fostering self-reliance and independence. Just like Michaela said, it really gives highlights on ayudas in a way that they can help people in the poverty, help prosper them, help them become self-reliance and independence. Just like the PUD project and 4 Ps, these programs um, help people that are in need of these programs to elevate their elevate their lifestyle by providing them aid of cash, medical expenses in 4 Ps, and also some schoolings, and also for Tupad, which is employment project, which helps them reach their livelihood in a sustainable way. So I think it is can be emphasized that when you spend your own thread, you make your own clothes requires effort and skill, since Tupad is a project that can help you be employed, and 4 Ps is a project that can make your child and yourself be efficient enough and skillful enough for you for your child to be able to keep up with the 4 Ps project, as the 4 Ps project requires meticulous requirements, which is really tough to keep up. And yeah, that is my take on that. Both back to you guys.
Okay, so for the last code, I'm going to pick. Let me word it first. So the paper was torn apart. But anyways, it states here that give a man a fish and he'll live another day. Teach a man how to fish, he will live longer and sustainably. So logically guys, if you give someone just a, for example, it says here a fish, of course that fish will only sustain you for a day. But if you teach someone how to fish, how to gain more food resources like the ayuda, you know, since we're talking about ayuda, if you teach someone how to manage your own money, not just asking for it, waiting for something to come to you, some assistance or financial aids, of course it will only last shorter, or in a day or in a week or in a month, depend on how you spend it. But if you teach a man how to manage it, how to use it more on important things, not just by wasting it, of course that man will live longer and won't have a shortage of resources, yeah, like how it is in the Philippines.
So it can be applied to Tupad, as Tupad will help you gain skills because you will not receive cash freely, but you'll have to work hard for it. So that skills may be used in the future.
Yeah. But it also applies to all of the programs, because
Especially the first phrase.
Yeah, for peace.
yeah,
Ay, the phrase for the first. I like
The first phrases. The first couple phrases, which was about if you teach a man, if you give a man a fish, it will last him a day. So this also relates to the other programs, because if you give people temporary relief, it will also give them temporary solution. So it won't last them a lifetime. It won't help them in the long run. So of course there'll be struggles. They'll be struggling for the next day for what food they will eat in the future. So yeah, that's my key takeaway. How about you, Zaira?
I think I could relate this to 4 Ps because as well, if you all know that 4 Ps does not just it's not just giving a man a fish, but it is also teaching a man how to fish, because the sole purpose of them providing this ayuda is to help the Filipino people or the Filipino citizens to to, you know, have attain knowledge, like help them with their education and also with their health. So by then, after I don't know 7 years, am I right? Yeah, after 7 years, the man just knows how to fish because you know it is with his education that he is also provided with opportunities.
Thank you for that, Zaira. And now, so with this, guys, I think it's time to ask the most important question. Out of all the programs, which of these programs do you think is most prone to corruption? Which is most
Least sustainable,
sustainable, and which
Least.
is least sustainable? So let's start with
and also which is
Yes.
most likely to cause dependency.
Oh, yeah. So, how about you, Kira? What is your answer?
I think most prone to corruption is the AICs and AKAP, and for the most sustainable is the 4 Ps and tupad, and the least sustainable would be the AKAP, and also which most likely to cause dependency is over dependency is eggs and AKAP also,
So, can you present to us your reasons?
because as for eggs doesn't it focus only on the immediate relief rather than the long-term solutions. As for AKAP, it may be it can help, it can cause people to depend on that program rather than making their own way or making some hard work. That's all.
Oh, so that is your answer. Now let's have it for Miss Janema. Janema, what do you think?
What are those again?
So,
Sustainable.
which of the programs do you think is most prone to corruption, least sustainable, most sustainable, and which
Most.
of these?
Would likely to cause dependency.
Yes.
Well, for me, the most prone to corruption.
Yes.
Yeah. And I believe it's the tupad and the what is that again?
Eggs,
Yeah,
ako,
the AX.
AX,
Yeah. And the other one, what
AKAP,
is it again? No.
or 4 Ps.
The other question.
The other
Oh,
question.
which of these is most sustainable, or which of these are less? Is
These.
less.
Well, the most sustainable among the four of them, of course, is the 4 Ps. And the least sustainable is the AKAP. Yeah, for me.
And lastly is which be most likely to cause dependency.
Well, for me, I think co- um, the most that could cause more on dependency among four of them would be the AKAP as well. Yeah.
Thank you. So now that we have Janema's answer, let's go for Zaira.
So I think what's most prone to corruption is all of them, because I think corruption, it does not really like limit itself, because when the money the one who manages that program is corrupt, then you really can't do anything. But with the other things, I've thought about it and I agree with what Kiera had chosen. And next, what about you?
Oh yeah. So for me, which of these programs are most prone to corruption? So I actually agree with Ms. Daira over here. I think that all of these can be, in a way, they can be prone to corruption. But then it is up to the people who are in charge of the program to like securely manage the programs themselves to avoid corruption and to like avoid using money and giving it in the hands of the corrupt ones. So as for the most sustainable, I think the most sustainable out of all of them would be 4Ps, as 4Ps have already been mandated. It is legally mandated, I believe,
Yes.
and it already has a republic act.
Number.
So, and 4Ps has also been existing for a while now and has been helping people. Like according to Luke's statistics before, 4Ps have improved many Filipinos' lives. And as for the least sustainable, I believe it's not somewhere, but I think ACAP or IKES are both least sustainable out of the four programs that we have been discussing about. As for the most or the program that is most likely
To cause
to
dependency.
cause dependency, I think all of them can cause dependency. But then again, it's up to us to understand we shouldn't be too dependent on these things. We shouldn't just rely on these for a self sufficiency. We should also rely on our abilities and also do the necessary things to make ourselves not overly dependent, as well as for us to strive for a better solution, for a better tomorrow for our families, for our country as well. And how about for Luke here? Luke?
Uh, s- okay, so for me, first I'm gonna discuss what is prone to dependency. I think what I think the most prone to dependency is tupad, akap, and aches for the reason that they are meant to be immediate reliefs and not a and they're not sustainable and they're not going to be used in a long term way, which is when it is like when it is only a social welfare program, it is meant for disaster response and stuff. So it is only a one time thing and they can be prone to dependency because of that. And the most least sustainable for me is of course these three like Tupad, Akap, and Eggs for the same reason. And the most sustainable for me is Four Piece because it offers not just social welfare but a development program that for empowers children to be sustainable and empowers family to be sustainable on their own. And I think the most prone to corruption is I agree on Michaela on this one, which is all of them. But however, when you ask me on what project is the most corrupt, it would be ACAP project as first it doesn't have any clear reasons on why it is why and how it is conducted. Second is that this project actually didn't go to the Senate, which is there's two House of Congress and those Congresses are the ones who make laws and when they need to come together for them to implement laws and this ACA project didn't go to the Senate, so therefore there likely is to be a discrepancy in there. So I think that is the most corrupt one. So yeah, get back to you guys. So in conclusion of what they have said, among all these programs, Tupad and 4Ps have the most potential to yield significant social impact among Filipinos, which genuinely empower our citizens, and Tupad provides immediate employment opportunities, fostering the independence and skill development. Where Peace invests in human capital, which is students and children, which provides them with education and health. However, both requires a robust monitoring to prevent them to prevent this program from corruption and to ensure sustainability. Programs like ACAP and ACE, while providing necessity for immediate relief, may not contribute to significance to a long-term social transformation, just like these two. However, it could foster dependency if not carefully managed. In the end, although these programs are meant to help people rise from poverty, we must not forget the importance of being informed of what these programs are all about and what they are capable of. After all, it is our taxes that funds these initiatives, and as a taxpayer, we have a right to demand transparency, accountability, and efficiency in their implementation. And understanding these programs allows us to evaluate whether there is truly an address of the needs or they are just implementing it for their own political agendas. And it also fosters a sense of collective responsibility as citizens, encouraging us to engage in discussions and how should the government allocate these resources and how to maximize our budget. So moreover, staying informed ensures that we can hold government institutions accountable for what their promises and actions. Only through active participation we can only do this. And having awareness of that, we can ensure these programs are being fulfilled. So that's all for our podcast. So hopefully you gain something about news knowledge about it. And yeah, see you around. Bye.